Ladies and gentlemen, I must speak on this right now while it's still fresh in my mind. I just saw Twilight. I figured, $1.07 to have a night rental of this hotly debated movie. I liked it. Yeah, let the bombs fall, let every Ranters fanboy come running to me with their pitchforks raised, but I'll just stand in front of you and take it. Seriously, what's the big deal? Granted, it's not a spectacular film, but let me just say that I've spent 2 hours of my life far worse than what I did on this movie, and I do that on a weekly basis. Seriously, the acting was fine, the effects looked nice, and it was a nice opening to the 4-part saga, which I had no prior knowledge of going in. All I did was leave all the bullshit at the door, all the fanboyish worship that would get you a little bit too expectant of it, all the stupid rants that make you think it's gonna suck. I left all that shit at the door and watched it as an unbiased observer. And I have seen dozens of films far worse than this movie, trust me. I've seen plenty of better ones, but it's not a bad movie. I'd say it was a decent movie. I don't get why everyone has to toss the word overrated around, because I hate that word. There's only a few times that you can use that word adequately. If people love the shit out of something, fine. That's their individual decision. If you hate it, fine. That's also a choice of yours. But don't clump us all into one group and call the movie or game overrated. No! It's an overused cum shot to the face that's meant to garner a reaction because you need attention from the people who love it. Seriously, look at all the quote-unquote overrated things in the gaming market, for example. Final Fantasy VII is probably public enemy number 1. I need to address this now, okay? Final Fantasy VII, when it came out, it was a lot more universal in opinion than what it is now. And you want to know why that is? Because too many people are judging it by today's standards when you cannot do that with a game that was made over a decade ago. But at the same time, you can't live in the past. The fact is that there's plenty of superior games that have been made nowadays. Don't live 10 years ago and still say that's the best game ever. You have to find a happy medium somehow. Okay, very simple. Same thing with Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. People always say that that game is, overrated because, there's other adventure games that did what it did at the time, or it wasn't as good as it could be. It wasn't as developed as Majora's Mask or Wind Waker or Twilight Princess now. You cannot do that. Don't judge it by today's standards. I mean, you want to call Halo overrated? Fine. I prefer to call Halo a cookie cutter. A cookie cutter that did nothing revolutionary, nothing new, just took proven mechanics, slapped a futuristic look on it, and there you go. There's a FPS of the year. That's what Halo is. Is it overrated? If you want to toss that word around like you always seem to do, fine. Call it overrated. But be a little bit more intellectual in your criticisms, okay, people? It's very simple. You don't need to use the word overrated because your vocabulary is too small or you've been listening to one too many crappy YouTube ranters. Very simple thing to remember, guys. If you're going to make a rant on YouTube, or if you're going to form an opinion based on popular YouTubers' opinions on something and not give it a chance, you're doomed to failure in life, okay? You are. I had heard so many bad things about this movie, so many complaints. Like, for example, people are complaining about when Edward starts sparkling in the sunlight. What's the big deal? It's barely noticeable. I mean, what? Were you watching it on some HD TV? Is it that much more detailed on that? Because I was watching it on my computer screen. I didn't see shit. Overrated is overrated. Bottom line, this is Lan signing out.